What's going on, vinyl community, hell YouTube, and what's up internet? It's LJ, and it's time for another quick episode of It's What's Spinning. It's What's Spinning today. It's what's spinning fairly often around here is Megadeth's Rust in Peace. September 1990, purchased the day it was released by yours truly. Rust in Peace is 9 tracks in 40 minutes of heavenly speed metal. An amazing album. This is an album that continued in Megadeth's tradition of a revolving door of drummers and lead guitar players between the albums which preceded it. This time though, Megadeth nailed it. They got it right. Now, legend has it that Pantera's Dimebag Darrell and even Slash from Guns N' Roses had been rumored replacements. However, Marty Friedman, this cat here, Great Crimter, and Nick Menza joined the band. They rounded out the lineup, and Megadeth finally became an unstoppable juggernaut. They nailed it. And they ended up releasing what is my favorite, I have a hard time saying that, Megadeth album ever, because they're all so good. Megadeth has never done a single wrong thing, at least not in this music room. This lineup lasted for another 4 to 5 albums. I think Nick left one album before Marty did, over the next 6 to 7 years. And while I love them to death, they just never reached those heights again. Videos for Holy Wars and Hangar 18 exploded onto Headbangers Ball, and quite frankly, so did the two Daves, as they both co-hosted an episode. They were pretty constant mainstays on Headbangers Ball. So check this out. I have to make a note about the different releases. You've now seen the vinyl, and that was the reissue from the Capitol Vaults that came out a number of years ago. I've been asked a number of times how it sounds. It sounds beautiful. Now, it's also been released, of course, on CD in 1990, and then it was remastered again in 2004. It was also, of course, released on cassette. Now let's talk a little bit about the remastering. So the first 8 Megadeth albums were reissued in 2004. They were remastered, which is negligibly necessary depending on the album. The debut, Killing Is My Business, But Business Is Good, desperately needed a facelift. But they were also remixed, foolishly unnecessary. Rust in Peace, sadly, was the most screwed up of them all, and it ended up coming out like a completely different album. It's an album that, perhaps I'm biased, because I'm so familiar with every note, every lick, every hit, everything on this album, that any changes are not going to resonate with me well. Now, legend has it that Dave Mustaine couldn't find the original vocal tracks for Take No Prisoners, Lucretia, and Five Magics. Instafix! Let's re-record the vocals for one and use alternate takes for the other two. Are you out of your mind, Mustaine? Well, actually, Mustaine was often always out of his mind, but by 04, I think he was pretty well clean. The remaster, it's worthy for the bonus tracks, it's worthy for the liner notes, because they're absolutely awesome. Now, as a headbanger at the time, this album was inescapable. I was in 8th grade. You could not get away from this. And Justice for All, South of Heaven, Rust in Peace, these are the albums that dominated my Walkman at the time. It's fast, it's heavy, it's intricate, it's in your face. The song structures on this album are so technical, so complex, that progressive metal bands must have thought Megadeth was pissing in their cornflakes. Its legacy is so strong that with albums like 2112, The Wall, and Operation Mindcrime, it's often performed live in its entirety. This is spun without mercy as often as once weekly, and if the proverbial desert island called and 10 albums were allowed to keep me company until the day I withered and fell, Rust in Peace would without question be first in my bag. And that is Megadeth's Rust in Peace. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Feel free to leave a comment below. What's your take on Rust in Peace? What's your take on the remaster? What do you think of this album? Catch you next time. Later. Released in September 1990 and purchased by yours truly on the day it was released, Rust in Peace is 9 minutes. No, it's not.